Guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I had an update planned for this week, but I am going to move that one to next week or the week after, because on Monday morning I woke up to a brand new video from one of my favorite metal channels, and that is Metal School. And it so happens that that certain video was dedicated to one of my favorite bands of all time, and that is Accept. An hour and 6 minutes of unskippable content. Superb channel. If there is a slim chance that you don't know about the channel Metal School, I'm going to leave a link in the description to the Accept video. That kind of combined with the excitement of a brand new album coming out here April 26th called Humanoid, 17th studio album. Anyways, just a fantastic channel. Metal School is just informative, like bands that, well, you know, bigger bands like Accept, things like that. He's done videos on Loudness, even a couple months ago, a great Canadian band, Killer Dwarfs, you know, giving exposure to some of these bands, you know, keeping the metal alive. Just a fantastic channel. Just the work that goes into these videos that he does it's just mind-boggling. I know myself, you know, I'm just kind of a little bit of a simple guy operation here, but kudos to Metal School. Go check out that video, check out that channel. And like I said, if there's a slim chance that you're not already subscribed, please go over, check out his channel. Just awesome. So kind of in combination with that excitement of the new album coming out, Humanoid, and the inspiration of just watching the Accept video from Metal School, got me thinking, you know, and I've been asked, you know, to show collections or what I have from certain bands, and this is years of listening to, well, for example, Accept, since all the way back 1983 is when I kind of really discovered Accept and kind of never looked back. I'm going to show you everything I own from Accept in chronological order. I have cassettes, CDs, kind of really been picking up the vinyl over the past 6 years too. And then I'm going to throw in a couple little, you know, a few albums that, you know, members of Accept went off to do different things, or they came from different bands. But let's get started right from the start. And before I go any further though, I'm thinking the pre-order for the new album Humanoid should be up on, there is a video, they're releasing a video February 28th for the title track. So generally what happens on that same day, pre-orders go up, and this is their Accept's first album with their new record label, Napalm Records, with fantastic metal label. Previously, Accept was with Nuclear Blast for, you know, 5 studio albums and a couple live things that we'll show you here too. But that would be my guess, is February 28th, you'll be able to go pre-order the new album. And if I can guess, or if I know anything about Napalm Records, they're going to have, you know, multiple variants of the vinyl, CD. There will be a cassette, I'm sure. An awesome t-shirt, because that album cover is pretty damn cool. I'll kind of put that album cover in the thumbnail so you can see it, because there is a throwback on that album cover right to Metal Heart, and you will see it if you know the band well. But let's get started on what I have. There's quite a bit, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. So we're going to start off with one of the first things I ever owned after I bought Balls to the Wall. So went back and then forward again, but here is my cassette version of the debut album. This came out in 1979, just a self-titled album, and there's the cover to that. So I'm not going to talk too much about these, you know, songs and things like that. Maybe I'll throw a couple of things in there, but there's the cassette version of that, and then I do have the CD version. Now this is the only one I could get, and this is one of those Icarus music. I'd rather not have it, but it's kind of a knockoff, not a true bootleg or anything, but not really fond of this Icarus stuff. But the one thing on this cover is, I think this was the actual cover for North America, maybe for I'm a Rebel. I'm not sure, or if they changed this to the debut cover. I know there's a couple of different covers for I'm a Rebel, but there is the CD version of the debut, 1979. That's when it all got rolling. You know, he had the lineup. I know Stefan Kaufman only came in after that album was recorded, but then, you know, full-time member here on the second album, which is I'm a Rebel. So this is the original cover. They're in kind of that upside down in that phone booth, kind of a crazy cover, but I would say, you know what, don't sleep on these first two Accept albums. You can really hear what's coming in bits and pieces, but they really hit their stride on their next album, which I'll show you. But here's I'm a Rebel, which includes the song I'm a Rebel, which was actually written by Angus and Malcolm Young's brother, I believe. So next up, so I don't have any vinyl versions of those two, and I don't have a vinyl version of this, which I would love to see reissues for all three of these. But this is, for me, this is must-have Accept. This is just a superb album. One of 5 in a row here that are just, like I said, must-have Accept. This is Breaker. This came out in 1981. Just start to finish, fantastic album. Let me just show you. This is this one and the I'm a Rebel version. These are from Castle Classics, I think, reissued. I got these in right around when they came out, 1992. So I've had these forever. Now I'll show you one little compilation. This is not a studio album. This is, I have it on cassette. That's the only format I own it on. This is called Midnight Highway. So what this one contains is 4 songs off the debut, 3 songs off of I'm a Rebel, and 4 songs off of Breaker. This came out in 1983, and I pretty much have had it within months of purchasing Balls to the Wall. But yeah, I've never seen this one. You know what? No, I have seen somebody show this on vinyl, so I'm sure it has a vinyl release and most likely a CD release too. Kind of a cool compilation, like I said, of the first 3 albums. Okay, then we get into, it's no secret, this is my favorite album, metal album of all time. This would be the one where if you said, I don't know anything about metal, what should I listen to first? This would be the album that I would throw in your direction. And that is Restless and Wild. Here's my original cassette. We'll start off with that. Unfortunately, I don't own a copy of Restless and Wild with the Burning Flying V covers. I wish I did, but you know, hopefully we'll change that one day. But there's my original cassette from 1982. I didn't buy that in 82 because this probably didn't grab this till, you know, a year after Balls to the Wall, because this one actually says 1983. So this was probably, obviously, reissued by Portrait, CBS Records. And then I got my CD version. And awesome back cover. We have Herman Frank. Yes, York Fisher wasn't in the band at the time. He left, I think, right around the Breaker time and came back later, which we'll talk about Herman Frank, which we'll talk about Herman Frank here too a little bit too. And I have an original copy of Restless and Wild on vinyl. This one has not been reissued yet. I was hoping Music on Vinyl would be able to reissue this one. They've reissued several that I'll show you right away. But I don't know. There might be some legal issues, something to get the rights to this now. I don't know. But yeah. Favorite metal album of all time right there, Restless and Wild. Just really... you know, a 1982 release that was almost, I would say, ahead of its time. It's just the guitar playing on there. Udo on vocals. Yes, there is only one Udo Dirksnyder, and I love him. I love, you know, his new band. He's been around since 1987, UDO. But I will say, once we get into the Mark Tornillo era of the band, Mark is awesome replacement. I think they're doing a great job and still love their stuff they're coming out with. And I'm super excited to, hear the new album, Humanoid. All right, here we go. Here's my original Balls to the Wall cassette from 1983 that was released. What else do we have? There is my CD. Now, actually pay attention, but the Accept logo is on the top of the arm on the cassette. It's at the bottom, the logo and the album title, Balls to the Wall, are at the bottom. I really like the way this is, because the vinyl version I have doesn't even have the logo, and that does bug me. I just don't know why, but I would just assume that logo was right down there where it is on the CD. Here is the vinyl version for Music on Vinyl, super glossy. You know what, that might be my only gripe with Music on Vinyl. Overly glossy covers, especially black or darker colors. But yeah, just a classic album. I mean, if you're tuning into an Accept video, you know Balls to the Wall. And that would be another one that I would point in your direction if you were wanting to get into Accept, or if you just never heard of them before. Coming up next, we got Metal Heart from 1985. And this is my original CD. Now, I did have that on cassette and a couple other ones, but I sent those to a good friend. He is a cassette collector of certain bands, and I did send them his way because I got enough Accept. I'm okay, I can share, but let's take that cover. So, if you look up or even look at the thumbnail of this video, you will see the cover of Humanoid, and there's this robotic humanoid in the center of the cover with this exact metal heart in the middle of its chest. Also, the glass window that is on that front cover is this shape too. So that's pretty cool. I noticed that right away, and I thought, you know what a cool throwback that is. But this one, a little more down the commercial route, but this is a killer album. It has a great mixture. There's not even one weak track on here. Check it out, Metal Heart. And I do have the Music on Vinyl version. We'll see how shiny this cover is, but there is the Metal Heart. And now we know that the Metal Heart is still beating strong in 2024. And there's the back cover. So yeah, another great job by Music on Vinyl. If they can just slip in Restless and Wild, I would love that. Kind of in the same, let's throw this one out. This is, now I'm probably going to butcher this name. This is Kazakoban. This, which basically translated means a bootleg, pirate recording. This is just a few songs from the Metal Heart tour. You got Metal Heart, Screaming for a Love Bite, Up to the Limit, Head Over Heels, Love Child, and Living for Tonight. Same songs, A-side, B-side. This is the only format that I have this one on. So yeah, Metal Heart Tour, which we'll talk about here soon. Chronological, we're going in release order really here. So next up, 1986's Russian Roulette. Just back to a darker, heavier Accept, more like if you took Breaker, Restless and Wild, Balls to the Wall, and maybe just a little fraction of Metal Heart, but this is a great album. 86, my CD version of that. Always love this cover. That was right after Stefan cut his hair short. So now you got, at first I thought, man, he looks just like Udo, but it's Stefan's there and Udo's there. But great cover with the classic lineup. And what I mean about the classic lineup would be with Peter, Stefan, Wolf, Udo, and Jorg Fischer on guitar. Which, you know what, I only learned this, I think, about a year ago. But Jorg Fischer's Flying V, his white Flying V, if you've seen the video for Balls to the Wall, they're always playing Flying Vs. I mean, that is Wolf's signature guitar. But that Flying V that Jorg is playing in there is now owned by Wolf. He owns both of them. He's got them safely put away in storage, so that's a pretty cool little tidbit, whatever you want to say. And also I have the vinyl version, music on vinyl version of this one. Super glossy, not even fully black, but it's a dark cover. But yeah, last to feature Udo on vocals until 1993. We know that basically the album that I'm listening to in the background, UDO Animal House, was fully written by all 5 members and lyrics by Deafy, Deafy if you want, if that's the proper pronunciation. Anyways, Deafy is really, what do you say, a pseudonym for Gabby Hauk or Gabby Hoffman, Wolf's wife. She helped a lot with the, in the interpretation of the lyrics, and she's a great lyricist herself. But 1987, this was kind of written, ready to go, and that would have been the next Accept album, but they took a different route, and we'll get right into that, which is, but if you've never checked out UDO Animal House, you should. It's awesome. All right, then Udo goes off, does his own thing, you know about that, and 1989 brings us Eat the Heat with David Reese on vocals. 5 members on the cover here, but Jim Stacey was just really a touring member of this band. Wolf did all the guitars. Peter Steffen still in the band. So this is the cover that I originally, this is the North American cover. And I will show you the vinyl version that I have, which is, I think it's on the, actually on the back cut, or the inside, whatever. Here's the European cover for Eat the Heat. Now, definitely went down a different, a more commercial route, but I enjoy this album. There's some really great heavy songs on here too, like Hellhammer, Turn the Wheel, Ecstasy, Generation Clash, and then there's some more commercial stuff too, but I definitely do not dislike this album. But obviously it didn't work. They basically, what happened after that, Accept disbanded after that. I was going to tell you too, I was going to go back to, we'll throw this in here right now. And this is Herman Frank, who is on, really only on Balls to the Wall and some newer stuff, which we'll talk about. He appeared on the back cover of Restless and Wild, but did not do any of the guitar work. Wolf did it all himself. But if you are looking for some more metal, kind of in this vein, Herman Frank has 5 studio albums. This is his, would this be his second or third? I forget, second or third. This is one of my favorite Herman Frank, solo work, or whatever you want to say, Herman Frank band. This is called Right in the Guts, released on AFM Records, which is still his current label. And probably, I think we would probably see a new Herman Frank album in 2024 if I was betting on that. But this album, Right in the Guts, check out the title track and check out a song called, where is it? Now I can't find it. Raise Your Hand. Raise Your Hand and Right in the Guts. So just kind of throwing some extra Accept related stuff in there. What are we on to? So a year after 89, and then everything went to shit. There was infighting in the band, things like that, and they just disbanded. But this came out, this was released in 1990. This is Staying Alive. I featured this one. I've talked about this one in a few videos. This is one of my all-time favorite live albums. This is Accept firing on every cylinder, top of their game. This is absolutely superb. This is on the Metal Heart tour, recorded in Osaka, Japan. There is the back cover. If you've not heard this, this is a must-have. So this is, it only includes songs from Breaker, Restless and Wild, Balls to the Wall, and Metal Heart. It does not have, no, does it have Starlight on it? It might. No, it doesn't. So, just off of 4 albums. And here's the vinyl version, which the vinyl version I have actually includes a little bit extra. It has, on the CD version, it's missing Neon Nights, Burning, and Head Over Heels, but this is the Music on Vinyl version that was released in 2020. Just superb. And like I said, this is Accept just at their best. It is a great live album, gatefold. If you've never checked that one out, that is a must-have if you're an Accept fan. And I showed you the CD version. So after that, after 89, Accept basically from 89 to 93, there's a gap. The UDO band went on to do 4 albums, which I will show you a couple of related things here. But then Udo got back together with Stefan, Peter, and Wolf just as a 4-piece and came out with this very good Accept album. This is Objection Overruled. And one of these, all 3 of these next albums that I will show you is all Wolf Hoffmann photography. He became really a professional photographer. He had lots of, non-metal things that he was photographing, and pretty much made a second career out of it, whatever you want to say. But this is a Wolf Hoffmann cover. Don't sleep on this one. This is just a really solid album. And if you want to hear classic Accept and that riff right off the bat, check out I Don't Want to Be Like You. Fantastic song. Protectors of Terror. What other song do they still do it live to this day? What was it called? Bulletproof, actually. I think once in a while they actually do the song Bulletproof. It's a kind of a slow burner into just a great song too. But 1990, what did we say? 1993. And then we go, which I do have the vinyl version of that. This was released from Music on Vinyl. Black, super shiny cover. I got to kind of hold it sideways or you won't see anything, but there is that. Back cover. There's Stefan, Udo, Wolf. Before he shaved his head. I think he shaved his head on the next tour, I forget. And there's Peter. Okay, on to the next one, 1994's. So the second of the reunion. But just prior to that reunion, so what happened before and then after the reunion, I'll just show you. This was the album that came out from UDO before he went to do these 3 Accept albums. This is Time Bomb. And then when he came, once the reunion is over and it fizzled out, this is the Return album. Solid and a very solid album, pun intended. And this is the one where Stefan Kaufmann joined full-time on guitar. And Stefan's in the production of a lot of this stuff. But so 94, we go into Death Row. This one has more of a 90s sound. It really does. And why I say that too, it's definitely darker, heavier, but there's quite a bit where there's no rhythm guitar. And that is a signature of a lot of 90s stuff where, you got that solo just comes in and it's only the bottom end. There's no rhythm. But there's some heavy stuff on here. My favorite track for you to check out would be Like a Loaded Gun. Super heavy, just booming. And then I do have the Music on Vinyl version of that. And again, this is some Wolf Hoffmann artwork. So there's that one. Straight into probably, no doubt about it, this is the weakest Accept album. I would not recommend it to you. There's a couple of great tracks. I think Peter sings on 1 or 2. Actually, Crossroads, he does duet with Udo on there. That's a good one to check out too. Also, what else? I forget what. The opener's not bad. Heart Attack, but not a great album overall. But I do have, actually, you know what? I don't want to get too ahead of myself because I do have one more in chronological order. All Areas All Areas Worldwide Live. So this one is from the Death Row tour. And there is the back cover. Pretty good. It's not definitely nowhere near Staying Alive, but you know, definitely good to have in the Accept collection. So there's that. Then Predator, the last of the reunion albums. So there is, and like I told you earlier, some more Wolf Hoffman artwork. Yeah, not a great cover. Actually, all three of these covers they're okay to me. Every one of them is black. You know, not much going on, but at the time, I'm sure money, you know, they didn't have big support during that reunion with, you know, as far as record labels and things go like that. And you kind of have to develop a do-it-yourself attitude, and they did. But weak album. Just check out Crossroads. But as an Accept pretty much completist, I had to pick this one up on vinyl, on music on vinyl. Man, you can see everything there. But yeah, Predator on vinyl. And the one thing about these music on vinyl, they sound absolutely awesome. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything else here. Okay, so now pretty much in my life, Accept, you know, went away. Actually, perfect timing in my life. My first son was born in 1996, and we didn't have a new Accept album till 14 years later, 2010, when they reformed with Mark Tonillo on vocals. So it was good. I didn't have any money to buy all this shit anyways then, so it worked out for the better. But and this one kind of, if I remember, in 2010, it did come out of the blue. Matter of fact, it kind of came out of the blue for these guys. I don't think, basically Peter and Wolf were just jamming, and you know, let's call a vocalist to come in so we can jam properly. Mark Tornillo got recommended. I don't know how the whole story goes, but one thing led to another. They brought in Herman Frank and Stefan Schwartzman on drums, which Stefan's been in lots of great bands, I think. Well, Halloween for a bit. I don't think studio album. UDO, the band. Running Wild. Anyways, and like I said, Herman Frank. So they reform and come out with this modern day metal masterpiece, in my opinion. And that is Blood of the Nations, which is also a Wolf Hoffman art cover. If you didn't know that, pretty cool. Blood of the Nations, first on Nuclear Blast, which I'm going to grab these other ones from down here. And first of all of these to be produced by Andy Sneap. But if you never checked out this album, go check it out. And check out, let me give you one track, Pandemic. Just a great track. And I do have, Nuclear Blast came out with these cassettes about 2 or 3, well, actually when Too Mean to Die came out, they came out with this set, and I thought, I'm going to get these. They're not open, they're just kind of whatever, souvenirs, let's call them. But here is Blood of the Nations on cassette. And then I do have the vinyl version right here. So this is 2010, and 2 years later, they come out with Stalingrad, which here is the slip cover for this. And this basically is just a continuation of Blood of the Nations, fantastic album. And here is the cover, which is Stalingrad, Brothers in Death. Second one with that same lineup with Herman Frank, Stefan Schwartzman, and the rest of the gang. And here is the vinyl version. This is not a Nuclear Blast version. This is a Back on Black version, but it's good, well done, sounds good. These are definitely less glossy than those music on vinyl. But so there's the second album of the whatever you want to, Mark II of Accept era. And here's the cassette version. And these are all colored cassettes. I think actually these ones are all red. And I would say if you know, if you collect this type of stuff, which I do for my favorite bands, I just, you know what, just makes me happy, so I pick it up. But I would say Humanoid, you'll see a cassette version of it too. So what happens after that? 2012, 2014 rolls along. Bang, another album comes out, and that is Blind Rage. So just always love this cover. And the lead-off track, Stampede, awesome track. But check out the track 200 Years, just superb. Dark Side of My Heart, Fall of the Empire, great album. Last to feature this lineup too, and this lineup didn't last much past the release of this album, which we'll talk about in a second. Cassette version of that one, if you wanted to see that. And then Nuclear Blast version on vinyl. Yeah, I love that cover, very cool. Always been a huge fan of this, this version of the Accept logo, which has been pretty much all their albums except the early years. But there's that gatefold on that. There we go. And then, so shortly after that, Herman Frank leaves the band. Also, Stefan Schwartzman leaves the band. They bring in Christopher Williams on drums. He is still currently with the band. And they brought in Uwe Lulis, ex-Gravedigger, which I'm going to show you one of my favorite of the 5 Gravedigger albums that Uwe was on, and that is Tunes of War. If you've never checked out kind of that 90, what would it be, 92 to 96 Gravedigger with Uwe Lulis on guitars, fantastic. But check that one out. Throw that in there. So these guys joined, and they're on this live album. This is Restless and Live, Blind Rage, live in Europe 2015. So this happened, months after the release of Blind Rage. But this is a fantastic live album. This set right here includes the DVD of the live show. And the set list is pretty cool. There's 27 tracks on here. 14 of them are from only the 3 newest albums, which would at this point would be Blood of the Nations, Stalingrad, and Blind Rage. So 14 out of 27 songs are new, and it really is. That's remarkable in my books. That's cool. So that's only 13 Udo era songs that Mark sings, which I will say that's one of the big selling points with me with Mark. He can do all the old stuff. There's no problem there. Like I said, there's only one Udo, but Mark does a killer job. And I'll show you this one too. I got this as a gift from a friend a while back. This is the vinyl version, 4 vinyl set, box set of Restless and Live. I'm not going to pull everything out of this, but the only difference maybe between this set and that set, other than one being vinyl, one being CD, is this one includes the DVD of the live show, which is killer if you've not watched that. And then now I'll throw this in there. This came out in 2017, so whether it came out before or after, I think it came out before The Rise of Chaos, but if you've never heard Wolf Hoffman's Headbanger Symphony, this is just an instrumental album. It is fantastic. This is just great kick back and relax tunes. I hope Wolf does another album like this at some point in the future. He is such a great guitar player and one of my favorite guitar players of all time. His tone is just, I don't know if I can even describe it. It's just that good. But so here we are, almost complete, or almost at the end of what I got to show you leading up to the new album. Can't wait. And here is 2017's The Rise of Chaos, so 3 years after Blind Rage. This one a little bit weaker. I put it this way, it's the least favorite of the newer stuff for me. It's kind of just got one gear, but it's a good gear, but it's just nothing just jumps right out at me on here. Analog Man. That one jumps a little bit because it's pretty cool. Very catchy too. The song Kool-Aid, which is that's a bad story, but pretty good song. Or check out the opening track, Die by the Sword. So there's 2017's The Rise of Chaos. Love that artwork. They've used now, going on to the new album, that'll be 3 in a row that they've used that artist. Here is the CD version, sorry, the cassette version, part of that whole set. And that one is a red cassette. And then, of course, I got the vinyl version. Yeah, I might be nuts to have all of this stuff, but I got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 bands that I do go, the extra mile for, put it that way. And there's the back cover. Now, how this track listing is, that's how every vinyl should be. This is right there, legible, in order, everything's great. So just thought I'd throw that in there, but love this album cover too. And that is leading us right up to the latest release that is out, and that is Too Mean to Die from 2021. So we had 4 years for this one. And now with the new one coming out, we only had to wait 3 years. Here is Accept, Too Mean to Die, which this was, I don't know if this was tied for my favorite album cover of the year with Exodus, Persona Non Grata, but both of them are fantastic album covers. And incidentally enough, both these bands are now signed to Napalm Records, so there's a connection there too. But yeah, here's Too Mean to Die, and this one was on a green cassette. Picked that one up too. And then I got the vinyl version, which I really like where they put the logo too. That, well, they didn't have a lot of choice with that big mechanical snake, but here's the vinyl version. Last one on Nuclear Blast Records. As far as studio albums go, they came out with there's a collection of all the Nuclear Blast stuff on it's kind of, I don't know what they call them, earbooks or something. So if you wanted it all in one shot, I would recommend you check that one out. It's over on the Nuclear Blast website, or pick it up at Amazon. But yeah, I knew this one would be a little bit of a lengthy video. So anyways, do not forget to check out Metal School. I will leave a link directly to the Accept video. Fantastic job, fantastic channel. And yeah, definitely looking forward to that new one. Humanoid coming out April 26th on Napalm Records from Accept. And that is it. Until next time, stay heavy.